Hello, I'm TC with a third-party conversation. Today we're going to talk about gerrymandering. This video has been a long time coming because events just keep changing. Texas, Missouri, Indiana, etc., etc. It's all changing constantly, and what I originally wanted to talk about is now overcome by events, and so I'm going to stick my neck out and try this one. The term gerrymander was coined in 1812 when Elbridge Gerry, then governor of Massachusetts, created a district which looks like what you see on the screen here, a mythical salamander. There came gerrymander. As of 2024, the states in red were the most gerrymandered in the United States. Wisconsin has changed their districting of late and may have corrected the gerrymander problem. So now we're going to actually talk about what is gerrymandering. Take a look at the depiction on the screen. We've got 15 greens and we've got 10 oranges. Now these oranges and the greens could be based on religion, it could be based on race, it could be based on sex. It really doesn't matter what the criteria is, but this is what we're going to start with, and we need to make 5 representatives. Now if we had proportional representation, we would end up with 3 representatives for green and 2 representatives for orange. Gerrymandering is when a politician chooses its own voters. The voters aren't choosing the politician is choosing the voters. In other words, he moves the borders around so that the voters he wants voting for him do so. So for the purposes of this video, orange has gotten control, and they're going to redistrict such that they get 3 representatives and green only gets 2. So if they start out making a solid green district, so then they create another district which has 3 orange and 2 green, giving a majority orange district. So then a third district is created, giving it a majority orange and suppressing the green in that district. Then they go further and create a third orange district, so 4 districts total, once again majority orange, and the 2 greens in that district are no longer represented. The last district is created up there at the top with 4 greens and 1 orange. Now take note that the 3 orange districts are convoluted and meandering, and they've ended up having to dilute their 2 majority in order to create 3. And that dilution thing is a big problem should the policies of orange be bad and the district changes its mind and some of the people switch or the independents switch and become green. Redistrict normally happens just after a census when they do a population survey and shift around the representatives. So some states may gain a representative, some others will lose them. Recently though, midterm redistrict has become popular. Missouri, North Carolina, Indiana, and California are the ones that stand out the biggest. Missouri at this point has decided they can't redistrict. North Carolina is going ahead with theirs. Indiana is a really strange one in that the people don't want it, the representatives don't want it, but they're still going to vote on it, even though their constitution categorically states that it could only be done after a census. So what Indiana is contemplating is illegal. California's was completely different in that they took the redistricting to the voters, and the voters voted on it, while all the others are being dictated by their legislatures. Which then brings up Texas, which is the big one. They redistricted in 2021 based on the 2020 census, just like everybody else. But then Trump demanded a midterm redistricting in order to create 5 more Republican districts to preserve the U.S. House majority. He knew his His policies were unpopular, and he knew that the House was going to lose some Republican representatives, and so let's create 5 more in order to shore that up. DOJ then went and told them that told Texas that it was a legitimate thing to do because of their 2021 redistricting was racially based. So Texas went ahead and created 5 more Republican districts. But to create the 5, 10 others were diluted. The 4 November elections did not go well for the Republicans, as voters overwhelmingly voted for Democrats. The Texas redistricting in 2025 diluted 10 Republican districts based on potentially flawed data and may have actually created 10 more Democratic districts. But Texas had stated the redistricting was so Latinos could have a greater say in their representation, which is race-based and violates the Voting Rights Act. Lawsuits were filed. The district court said the redistricting was illegal, and the appellate court upheld the ruling. SCOTUS overruled the lower courts and is letting Texas use the latest maps, which means we get to find out if the new maps will backfire on the Republicans. Also of notice that the ruling further erodes the Voting Rights Act. Well, for those of you who made it this far, thank you. Gerrymandering is when politicians choose their voters and not the voters choosing their employees. It's been around since at least 1812, well over 200 years. This leads to minority parties remaining in power. Wisconsin, for instance, is a 50-50 voter state, yet the legislature is overwhelmingly Republican. And while many states have created independent commissions to create the districts, Michigan and California, for example, Washington voters rejected an independent commission, and other states refused to even attempt to do it because it means the politicians would have to give up their power. Once again, thank you for listening, watching this. I hope you got something out of it. Like and subscribe if you happen to be available. I love it. Thank you.